Greetings, YouTube. 30% of all veterans suffer from PTSD. 40% of all those that have survived domestic violence suffer from PTSD. 50% of all those that have suffered childhood abuse suffer PTSD. And I don't know what the percentage of those who suffer from sexual assault are, but it's probably similarly high. I've never served in the military. It was a very clinical choice on my part. I don't like taking orders. I didn't see it as a viable option. I didn't want to join the machine that chews up brown people and produces sad, broken veterans. I saw folks that didn't survive their service spiritually. I mean, they were still walking around, but they weren't really alive. And I know what it is to suffer from PTSD. I do. Not the variety that the veterans do, but I still understand the mechanisms. And I understand the rage. You participated in something that is ugly and horrible and left you angry and wounded spiritually and emotionally and possibly physically, and then kicked your ass out into the cold. I get that rage. I used to have that rage. Every second of every day I was awake, I was angry. My jaw was literally clenched unless I was talking or eating. Constantly. And everyone was my enemy. Every slight was blown out of proportion. A person did a single bad thing, they were bad forever, unredeemable, without any positive traits of any kind. It was a harshly black and white world, and I would be very free with it, dispensing the black hats at the bad guys. Fortunately, I didn't turn to violence, but I also had not been trained to be a warfighter, to be a warrior, given the skills and the means to dispense violence on a industrial scale. And our veterans have. With the push of a button or the pull of a trigger, they could end human life anywhere at any time for their entire deployment. And they had to face the reality of watching their friends die, of knowing that they participated in ethical and immoral acts on behalf of fat cats back in America, taking bribes from big business. And rather than face that, lots of them got angry. They didn't necessarily knew who they were angry at. By gosh and by golly, they were angry. And I understand that. Oh, do I understand that. That endless, omnipresent anger and rage. And when I finally faced it, and I finally began to dismantle that anger, and I finally consciously told myself to stop clenching my jaw, it ached for weeks because my muscles didn't know what the fuck was going on. We've turned too many of our veterans loose in the world without the skills they need to actually live. And there are actual entities in this world, in America, who want to perpetuate that anger that the veterans feel. They want to sell it. They want to market it. They want to commodify it so that they can sell them a version of reality where they're still in at war, except now they're at home. So now instead of being at war with whatever target the government says is the bad guy, now they're at war with their neighbors and their coworkers and vague concepts like politics or identity. There are companies that intentionally desire to make veterans angry and keep them angry so they can keep selling them firearms and camo and bug out bags and all this other bullshit. If someone had marketed crap to me in my enraged state that would have fed into that rage, I would have bought it like fucking manna from heaven. Particularly if it meant by doing so, I didn't have to face the goddamn demons living inside my own frigging skull. And that's what companies are doing in America right now. Not all the companies, of course, but there's enough of them. They have found angry veterans to be a marketable demographic. Let's sell them more anger. Let's convince them that the world is out to get them and their families and their ideals, whatever the fuck that means. And just just keep them angry and make sure that they're heavily armed because that makes us money. And when some of them step over that line, we can disavow all responsibility because we're just business people. We didn't do anything wrong. We're just selling a product that the public wants, right? Doesn't matter that we've helped orchestrate the desire of that public through the proper manipulation of news media and ads and influencers all pushing that agenda that gets their products across that counter and into the hands of an eager audience who will do anything if it means not facing the source of their anger and rage. The easiest person in the universe to lie to is yourself. And we will do anything to avoid self-reflection. I know this for a fucking fact. But no one was making any money off of my rage. And there are too many people in America that are making money off the rage of veterans. And I don't know how to stop it. But the first step is to be aware it's happening and talk about it. And I'm going to link in this video to a discussion about this very topic. There's life past that anger, that rage. The book that helped me on my path the most, I think, was Cooling the Fires Within, which dealt with the idea that maintaining that rage is no different than punching yourself in the stomach because you have a pain. You don't harm yourself if you're suffering. You have to treat yourself with kindness. You have to find the root of the cause of the suffering, and then you have to make the changes that you can make to lessen or eliminate the suffering. And the anger isn't helping you. It's eating you up inside. It's literally killing you. And I see people that are marketing to folks to keep them angry is no different than tobacco companies selling something they know is killing folks. They are peddling death and they are laughing all the way to the bank. And if I believed in hell, I'd say there's a special place in it for folks like that. But here in the real world, maybe we can reach out and help those that need it. Maybe we can make sure that our government gives the funds that the veterans need to heal and end the hurt. Sorry, I've blathered on. There's life past the anger and the rage. Go find it.